Welcome into the third edition of Nighthawks at Noon here from Dahlonega Roadhouse. Glad to have everybody out here with us today on a beautiful day in Dahlonega. Chad Haney along with Lee Glenn. And Lee, it's really been a great year of North Georgia athletics. The Nighthawks currently third in the Commissioner's Cup standings for the Peach Belt Conference, and it looks like we're going to have a strong finish.
Yeah, there's a lot for the Nighthawk Nation to be proud of, Chad. We had a great fall, a great winter, and are now getting downhill into a great spring, which we have a full schedule that we're going to talk about, all of the successes of the Nighthawk teams. But we want to say a special thank you to Dahlonega Roadhouse for being our host this year and the first ever show that we've done. They've really rolled out the red carpet for us, allowed all of our guests to have 10% off of their lunch bill, and it's been a great venue for the first ever Nighthawks at Noon.
Has been fun, and we'll have another fun show here for you today. Assistant baseball coach Nick Palmer, along with our director of athletics, Lindsay Reeves, who will talk about the Commissioner's Cup, along with a few other special projects coming up here at North Georgia. And then we'll finish off the show with head softball coach Mike Davenport. Coming up next, our assistant baseball coach Nick Palmer to talk about the success of the Nighthawk baseball team.
Shop, play, and stay in Dahlonega, the heart of the North Georgia mountains.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for giving.
Thank you.
Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for helping me be a Nighthawk.
Welcome back into Nighthawks at Noon here at Dahlonega Roadhouse, joined now by assistant baseball coach Nick Palmer. And Nick, last time we talked, just coming off a series victory in the home opener against Pfeiffer, and have been on quite a ride since then, haven't you?
We've been on a very good ride. We came off that series there. We jumped right into conference. Started off conference with a sweep of Southwestern at home. Took the show on the road to Columbus. Fortunate to have a sweep at Columbus, which was great. Like we talked about before, anytime you sweep in the Peach Belt is a great feeling. It's a conference. You feel like you've really accomplished something anytime you sweep on the weekend. And it's been a wild ride. We're very excited. Our guys are playing great, and we couldn't be happier with the direction our team is headed.
Started out conference play, as you said, 6-0, part of a 9-game winning streak, longest winning streak since a 9-game streak back in 2008 for North Georgia baseball. It's got to be a fun ride when you're a part of that.
It's a lot of fun. The guys that have been here with this program the last few years, we've experienced some ups and downs, and this year we are really riding this high wave and getting North Georgia baseball back to what it was founded upon, back in the early 2000s when we were still an NAIA program, and now to be back in the winning the ways, and our guys are really believing a lot in themselves, and you can see it every day. They get more and more confident stepping on the field, especially the younger guys that are taking on roles, and our older guys that are stepping in and stepping up and being the senior leaders that they really can be.
And those are the kind of things, too, a big winning streak like that, especially early in the season, that can really change the course of your season.
You get started off winning early and get a lot of confidence, especially beating quality programs that we have played. We always tell our guys we schedule a tough ride for them early in the year because it prepares them for conference. And, I think what we've done for them, providing that schedule, has really prepared them for where we're still going. We've got a long way to go, and still have a lot of conference games left to win. So,
as a coaching staff, y'all really have focused on the team, not certain individuals, and it's really been a team effort in this success for you, not one or two players that's made it.
Not at all. Our pitching staff and our weekend, we're getting 3 quality starts. Every weekend we go out there, our bullpen's coming up, and our bullpen's always ready. Whoever we send out there are prepared, and they're ready to go out and go into battle. And top to bottom of our lineup. Our lineups kind of fluctuate throughout the year, putting guys in different roles, different positions, seeing how they will react. And it's always seemed if the top half of our lineup wasn't producing, the middle and bottom were, and vice versa. No matter where we were in the lineup, we seemed to be having success. And it's not been on the back of one guy all year.
You talked about the highs and lows the team's been through the past few years. Weren't picked to finish very high in the Peach Belt Conference this year, but we're at the halfway point right now as we talk, and you sit a half game out of first place. And, oh, by the way, the team that's in first place comes to Dahlonega this weekend. Should be a fun series against Armstrong out at Bobstein Stadium.
It's going to be a lot of fun. The Peach Belt has been gracious enough to give us the opportunity to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday series this year, and we did last year starting. We have a home and an away. And this year, this is our home 3-day series against Armstrong. They're a great program. They're well coached. They're very talented. And, we're right there at the top of the pack with them. And our guys know exactly what's in front of them and what's at stake. So, we're looking forward to having a capacity crowd this weekend. We're going to have great weather and looking forward to really going into battle this weekend.
I know a lot of baseball is still left to be played, but I have to be proud of the way your guys have performed so far.
There's no words can describe how happy we are for the guys. They work hard every day at practice. They come out for games. They're ready to go. And the biggest thing that we are proud of is no matter where the guys are at, if they're playing, if they're in the dugout, if they're in the bullpen, no matter where they're at, when their number's called and we ask them to step up and perform and help their team in a situation, they have been ready at the drop of a hat, to come in and take care of business for us. And we've got a long way to go. Still got a lot of conference baseball to play, but we feel like we're headed in the right direction, and we've definitely got the right team and to take the conference.
Andrew Gordon, by the way, named Nighthawk of the Week this week. He's been on a tear the past 3 weeks for the Nighthawks. And come out, see him and the rest of the North Georgia baseball team this weekend versus Armstrong. Going to be a great series again. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No doubleheader this week. Will be a great weekend out at Bobstein Stadium. Can't wait to see you there. And when we come back, Lee Glenn will be joined on the stage by our Director of Athletics, Lindsay Reeves, here at Nighthawks at noon.
Follow your dreams. Gain an advantage. Choose the University of North Georgia. UNG offers a unique range of educational programs and services that cannot be matched. Academic prestige, dynamic friendships, and leadership development are all within your reach. Begin your journey today with UNG. At the University of North Georgia, you are the priority. Supported by a student-focused learning environment, UNG is an extraordinary combination of programs, people, and places spanning 4 campuses. Choose your pathway today and thrive.
Welcome back to Nighthawks at Noon here, presented by Dahlonega Roadhouse, located directly behind Chick-fil-A on Morrison Moore Parkway. We're glad that you've joined us today. And also joining us today is University of North Georgia Director of Athletics, Lindsay Reeves. Lindsay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Earlier in the show, we talked about being in 3rd place in the Commissioner's Cup here after the winter sports. Talk about, as the director of a large athletic department like we have at North Georgia, talk about what that means to you.
Well, as you all maybe know or don't know, but we're in 3rd place after the fall, and this is the best place finish for the Commissioner's Cup that we've ever been in. The best before that was 9th place, and we've been down around 13 or 14 historically, so this is a great start for us.
Talk about the job that your coaches are doing, not just coaching your student athletes on the playing court, but just collectively the job that they're doing in molding our young adults.
Yeah, it's a true testament to our coaches, Lee, really is, for what they do both on the field and in the classroom, on the court. Our student athletes historically not only do well competitively, but really we have a GPA cumulatively of all of our student athletes of over a 3.0, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then in citizenship and community engagement, we really set the bar very high.
You allude to community engagement there. One thing that the University of North Georgia has prided itself on is our involvement with Make-A-Wish. And over 3 of the last 4 years, we have finished in top in all of Division II in offerings and have had some great Make-A-Wish events on our campus. Talk about the component that adds to our department.
I think we are a leader in community engagement, as you said, and Make-A-Wish nationally. And our student athletes really take a great amount of pride in leading the nation in that and actually raising money for a child to be able to have a wish granted.
Last year, we had a young person come to campus where we revealed their wish of going to Hawaii. This year, we're going to have a Field of Dreams, Make-A-Wish Day, centered around a baseball game, April 7th, versus the University of West Florida. Talk about how big those events are on campus and what it's like for you as the Director of Athletics to see not only our student athletes and coaches embrace the idea, but the community and the campus community and the Dahlonega community as well.
I'll have to tell you, Lee, that probably having a Make-A-Wish event on campus is probably one of the most rewarding things as an athletic director and within our administration to just have a child come on campus and be with us for a day. And the student athletes are the ones that make that come true by all of their efforts to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we do that by a variety of ways. One of the biggest fundraisers is called Helicopter Ball Drop, and it's actually where they sell tickets, $10 a tickets, which, by the way, we do have extra tickets for anybody out there that might want to purchase one. And then a helicopter actually comes to campus and drops golf balls on our drill field. And the golf balls are all numbered, and the one that gets closest or in the pin, in the cup, actually wins a portion of the money raised. And we also have Gold Rush that we do in the fall, which is a big, huge event in Dahlonega. And the student athletes, all of them are out there helping to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
And the Make-A-Wish is such a unique initiative that our entire campus community has embraced and is going to culminate on our campus on April 7th with the baseball game, being our second reveal. Talk about how the University of North Georgia has ended up hosting 2 Make-A-Wish days over the last 2 years.
Well, I do want to say that the University of North Georgia has coupled with the NCAA in Division II, and they have actually given us the ability to have these Make-A-Wish events on campus. But it's also, with the student athletes, they've gone out to the other different community members, and the community members and the SGA and our Nighthawk entertainment group and our Greek life and our residence life, and all of those people come together to help us make this a great event. Military too, everybody's in it together. It really brings the campus together as well.
It's going to be a great day. Again, that's April the 7th. Field of Dreams will be hosting a young Make-A-Wish child from nearby Gainesville, centered around a baseball game with the University of West Georgia. First pitch, 6 o'clock. Tailgate festivities will begin that day at 3 o'clock p.m. Lindsay, thanks for taking time out of your schedule and joining us, and go Nighthawks.
Thank you, Nick.
We'll be right back with the final segment of this week's Nighthawks at Noon.
The PBC is commitment.
The PBC is community.
The PBC is competition.
The PBC is character. We are the PBC.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Welcome back into Nighthawks at noon here at Dahlonega Roadhouse. Joined now by head softball coach here at the University of North Georgia, Mike Davenport. And Coach, a lot has happened since the last time we talked here at Dahlonega Roadhouse. Your team now 25-5 on the year, ranked 8th nationally in the NFCA Top 25, and on top of the Peach Belt standings right now at 6-0. What have you seen from your team over the past month?
Well, I think every year you go into the season, you're trying to find your identity of your squad, and I think that's one thing we're starting to see our kids kind of develop into their own identity this year is the 2015 squad, and I think it's mostly going to center around pitching as it always does in our game. Courtney Poole has been throwing extremely well for us, as are the other two pitchers, Megan Stover and Allie Leggett, that have been able to come in and give us some good innings as well. But we've got some good leadership back from last year's team that's went to the super regional level. And we've added a few new pieces, and then they're competing with each other. And that first part of the season, you see your kids compete a lot amongst themselves for playing time, and now we're starting to settle into roles.
Talk about Courtney Poole. She's off to an excellent start, leading the Peach Belt in ERA, strikeouts, and most importantly in wins. Named the Louisville Slugger NFCA National Pitcher of the Week 2 weeks ago. What makes her so tough in the circle?
Well, I think we've seen Courtney develop over the last 3 years, and this being her junior year. Your freshman year, you're kind of new, and she had a very successful freshman year, but nobody knew much about you. And then, in the Peach Belt and at the college level, teams start to figure you out, and scouting reports as well. And then sophomore year, she battled through it and threw well for us last year. And now this year, she's made her adjustments. So I think that's been the biggest thing. She worked extremely hard this summer and in the fall as well. And I think just her competitiveness and her maturity has been the biggest difference in her game.
She pitched just the second perfect game in UNG history against Tiffin last month. It's got to be special to be a part of when you have a perfect game.
Yeah, you're sitting in the dugout, and we're pretty focused on calling pitches and setting up situations and things like that. And I didn't really realize it until about the fifth inning myself. And then, you start to look back and at what the other team's doing, and you start to realize that it's close. And she came close last week as well and threw extremely well. And, what Courtney understands is it's better to get the win than the no-hitter, because you can lose a no-hitter.
Absolutely. As great as Courtney's been in the circle, Kim McMillan has been just as impressive at the plate. A .494 batting average, which isn't all the time that rare in softball, but for someone who isn't a slapper, it really is, and really been special to watch number 17 take a swing at the plate.
Yeah, Kim brings a big bat to our lineup, and what we knew when we got her, we recruited her out of high school and then got her as a transfer at the Division I level, and she's a big-time hitter. She has really matured herself into one of the best hitters in Division II, and for our lineup, we've kind of bounced her around at the leadoff spot, which is not a traditional leadoff hitter, and then at the 2-hole, just trying to, give her a couple of RBI opportunities that she may not have had last year per se. But yeah, she does the great things at the plate. She's got a lot of power. She runs very well, so she's got the ability to make some things happen once she does get on the base.
Kim currently ranked 3rd in the nation in home runs and 10th in RBI, and with that kind of comes teams trying to pitch around her. Does that change anything you try to do with your lineup?
Sure. We've battled a little bit with who we hit behind Kim and who hits after that as well. And in the game of softball, the short game comes into play a little bit. And so if Kim can get on, we have the option of either one, letting our hitters try and hit her in, or moving her up a base or two. So we've bounced a couple kids back and forth, Jessica Finch being one of those who's got a lot of power, Megan May being another one who's got not quite as much power but has a very good short game. So, she's got the ability to move Kim up and then let somebody come up in that 4 or 5 hole and do some damage.
Weather hasn't exactly been your friend this year. You've had a couple of games washed out, but I have to think that turf field has helped out a little bit, not losing as many games as you could have.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a tough spring on everybody, baseball and softball all across the country at every level. But fortunately, we have the AstroTurf, the field turf down. We've been able to not miss too much as far as games and/or practices, and I think that's helped us, stay as sharp as we can.
Coming up, again, 6-0 right now in Peach Belt. You go to Georgia Regents on Wednesday. Actually get the weekend off this week, and then to Montevallo, who's in their first year of softball, on next Tuesday. Just talk about those two teams real quick.
Well, we've got a lot of tough conference games coming up. I mean, we're sitting at 6-0 right now, but we understand that you could easily lose the next 6 going out. It's very competitive from here on out, and I think that's something our kids do understand it. And we tell them, the first part of the season, the non-conference part, that season is over. So we explain to them we're breaking our season up into 4 increments, and we're right now in season number 2, and that's the conference season. So that's our focus here on out. Georgia Regents is playing extremely well. They've got some talented young ladies, and then Montevallo's done a tremendous job in a first-year program, and we know they're going to compete as well.
Coach, good luck down in Augusta, and hope to see you back in late April when we have our last show on campus. Will be a special edition of Nighthawks at noon. Certainly look forward to that. Next UNG athletic event here in Dahlonega is tomorrow at 2:30. The regionally ranked number 5 in the Southeast region, UNG men's tennis team will take on Young Harris along with the women's tennis team over at the Yahula Creek Tennis Complex here in Dahlonega. Battle of Blood Mountain Point on the line, actually 2 of them really on the line there at Yahula Creek, and certainly hope to keep the Battle of Blood Mountain trophy here in Dahlonega where it should be. But again, hope to see you out in late April somewhere on campus. We'll release details on where exactly the last show will be and when it will be on ungathletics.com and social media. But until then, so long and go Nighthawks.